Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm an American living in France, and I wanted to talk to you today about my OFII medical visit. So, my language test and medical exam were scheduled for 2 separate days. I've heard that they can be scheduled for the same day, but mine were not. My exam was in Toulouse, and because they don't have an x-ray machine at the OFI offices, they had to schedule my x-ray at the hospital. So first I went to a hospital, got my chest x-ray done. This is because they're checking for tuberculosis, and whether your country has an issue with tuberculosis or not, you're still required to do the chest x-ray. I was very surprised about this, but apparently there are some countries where this is still a major issue, and so before people come into France, they have to do the chest x-ray. So got that done. The tech spoke a little bit of English, and I spoke enough French to be able to talk with one another. I had to take my bra off, but I didn't have to take my shirt or any other clothes off. I have seen or I've read stories where people were required to strip down completely, but I was not. So I don't know if that's changed, or it just depends on where your exam is. So the x-ray was very quick. We didn't wait very long, and it only took like 5 minutes to have the x-ray done. So after that, we left and went to Ophi, the offices, because the x-ray was in the morning. We had time to grab lunch, and then I had to go to the Ophi offices in the afternoon to have a meeting with a doctor to finish up the exam. And I believe the x-rays were sent over to her. So when I arrived, the doctor wasn't there, which was frustrating. So we had to wait about 30 minutes until she arrived. Once she was there, we had to take a little survey, and it was really about our mental health. Like everything had to do with mental health issues. And then I went in and met with a nurse. She took my height and weight, asked me some questions about vaccines, and I knew they were going to ask about vaccines, so I had a list of what I thought I had as a child. Medical records in the US are not kept like they are in other countries, so I didn't have a great record of what I definitely had. I know my parents had me vaccinated for all of the normal things you would have had in the 80s and 90s, but so I had to rely on what I thought I probably had, but they were fine with that. Another thing I did that I would highly recommend is have your list of vaccines, translate those into French. Like you can just get on Google Translate. Just make sure you're able to explain what kind of vaccines you had, because the English translation or the English vaccine name is not always the same as the French. So it's just easier to have that when you're meeting with them. So the only thing I think she recommended was having, I think it was an HPV test. And because I had been pregnant the year before and had to have that through the hospital before giving birth to my daughter, I just said it's okay. I'm fine. I've already had it. It wasn't mandatory. It was just something that they offered. So after I met with the nurse, I waited a little bit, and then I met with the doctor, and she was very nice. We just talked a little bit about my medical history, any surgeries, anything like that, any issues I've had, and then she talked about, she asked about having kids and my, I think a little bit about my birth experience. Everything was pretty easy once I spoke with the doctor, and I was cleared. She said the chest x-rays came back fine as well. She stamped my medical form, and I just have to present that to Ophi as well as my formation civique classes, and it's just another part of being able to renew my visa or to get my titre de séjour, my residence card. the experience was very easy.